All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first day of Adweek New York. My name is Jerome Eymery. I'm a general manager at the trade desk, and I will be your host for the next 30 minutes or so. This is the Brand Innovators panel. My guest today is Allison Stransky. She is the Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of Samsung. She is the force behind making Samsung not just trusted, but beloved. She has been driving the change in the company, steering the world's biggest brands to tell a story in the world of AI, connected appliances, TVs, and rewriting the marketing playbook in real time. She's held multiple leadership positions at Google, L'Oreal, Unilever, Johnson and Johnson. What a resume, by the way. Before taking on the challenge of uniting Samsung's phones, TVs, and appliances under one single human story. If you have seen Samsung's focus on smart things, AI for all, the retail connected home experience with Ashley, or programs like Soul for Tomorrow, this is Allison's hands at work. So let's talk about what it means to win discovery in the age of AI, to make smart things actually smart, and to earn brand love at a time when everybody else is just shouting for attention. Ladies and gentlemen, Allison Stransky.
Thank you. Thank you for that intro. And while I appreciate all of that, I hope everyone also saw that beautiful device that your notes are being read from.
This is my personal phone. It's not a prop for Adweek. This is a Samsung phone. I love this phone. So it's been a crazy year for you. It's October. Looking back the past 10 months, are there one or two things that really stand out for you that you're really proud of?
Absolutely. So this year, a real game changer for us was our Smart Things meets AI home campaign. This is the US iteration of the global initiative AI for All. And what was a different step change for us in this was a large scale campaign that features all of our lines of business and products. So at Samsung, we're great about talking about product features on our mobile devices. I might have mine with me too. Our TVs, our appliances, but for the first time, we brought them all together and told the story very differently because we took a step change beyond features to talk about the higher order benefits that it delivered in your life, all because we're trying to get everyone to see the real AI is here. It is a game changer. And when all of our products work together, it gets that much better.
I love that. So let's talk about insights for a second. I think the whole marketing world woke up to the realization a couple of years ago that AI is here and we need to change the way we do things. I think you saw that coming earlier than everybody else. I read somewhere that you're already using Samsung's first-party data as insights to inform the campaign process, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of data at our disposal, which is one of our greatest advantages, but something we're also very proud of. And the big data team sits within my org in corporate marketing. And the reason for this and the benefit of this is that we use this data for marketing purposes. We use it to find insights. We use it to connect more relevantly with our audiences. So in the case of the Smart Things campaign, the way this started was we cracked open that data and said, what are people interested in we led with appliances and TVs, and in these categories, what do we know about you beyond I want my washer and dryer to clean my clothes really well? So this helped us uncover insights that it's not just about the product's features, it's about the higher order benefits, as I was saying. So a washer and dryer can represent clean clothes, but it can also represent time back and efficiency in your life. A refrigerator can represent keeping your food fresh, but it can also be a tool to help you meal plan better and take a load off that anyone who has to think about what to cook for your kids for dinner, that's a job too. So if your refrigerator can make that a little bit easier, let Samsung be the solution. So it started with the data and finding how are people using our products? What are they doing with them? And then the campaign tells the story not just of the product, but of how Smart Things and Galaxy AI make those better. So Galaxy AI is still relatively new. It launched on our S series in 2024. So we are looking at all of the things that you are using as a consumer. And then where's the gap? Where can we encourage you to use it more? Because that's how we know you're going to love our products more.
Fascinating. So that's insight. Let's talk about the creative. Quick personal story. I'm originally from Paris, France, as some of you might have guessed from the accent. I go back twice a year. My dear French mother, who's 78, asks me all the time. I keep reading about this thing called AI, artificial intelligence, and algorithm, and it sounds very interesting, but I don't understand what it can do for me, right? And I think there's a bit of a moral here for all of us marketers is we haven't been doing a great job at telling the story of AI. What do you think about that?
I think you're spot on because it's so complex and fast moving, and there's so much to it. And I think on some level, people say AI, they recognize the benefits of ChatGPT and Perplexity. But at Samsung, we've been innovating in AI for over 10 years, and there's so many different uses and applications. So when we think about AI, what we're trying to convey is one, it's on all of our products and across all categories already. It's here. Two, it's personal, it's predictive, and we keep it private. So your data and information is all safe. But I think the more important part is what do we mean by personal and predictive? So it's going to learn you as an individual, and then it's going to make recommendations and be completely seamless in your house, in our case, which is why we're talking about the AI home or on the go. It's everywhere that you have something in your pocket. But that's the hurdle and the learning curve we're trying to take everyone on, because when you see how amazingly seamless it can be to have your thermostat change your temperature in the middle of the night based off of your wearables telling your thermostat that you're running hot, that's just this little benefit that you're going to sleep better, you're going to have a better day, and that it's a complex story, but that's what we're trying to help everyone understand, because now is the time to realize these benefits. It's just going to get better from here.
Is that the Galaxy ring you're wearing?
It is. I love it.
Very nice. I'd love to put you on the spot in front of 150 people and actually take a look at some of the creatives that your pin has built. They're really good. Can we play them?
Go ahead, make your day with the Neo QLED 8K. With glare-free technology for no distracting reflections. Even smarter with smart things and Galaxy AI.
Love this. So that was the TV one, and we have another one for the appliances. If we can take a look at this one as well.
The bespoke AI laundry combo washes and dries in only 68 minutes. Even smarter with smart things and Galaxy AI.
Can we get a round of applause?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's very hard to look at your own work right in front of a whole crowd of people. What I love about this is that AI is invisible.
Absolutely. It's once you adopt it, we want you to understand there's this set it and forget it capabilities and mentality, and then it will continue to support you and learn from you in better ways, which is one of the things that I think is magical about what is coming from AI.
Love it. So we've talked about insights, we've talked about creatives. Let's get to the natural next topic and my favorite one, which is measurement. So quick show of hands for the audience. If you're a marketer, can you just raise your hand? Great. So we have like about 20 people. If you're a marketer who has any sort of measurement in place today to measure your marketing, right? Hopefully, almost everybody.
All the same hands, I think.
Yeah. Now, the real tricky question is, if you're a marketer and do you already have the ability to tie your marketing to business outcomes? Raise your hand. Yeah, just a handful of people. So that's really hard, right? So I would argue that's probably like the challenge of our time. How would you handle this? And how would you connect those awareness, creative efforts to an actual business outcome?
What's wild is, as a marketer now across my career, the tools for measurement and attribution have gotten so much better, but I think our demands for understanding performance have far exceeded even our capabilities. So the way we thought about this one was, it's a big budget campaign for us. So we have our process. It starts with put it in link testing to say go or no go. And we were very fortunate that, I shouldn't say fortunate because we designed the creative. It starts with a good brief and a good agency partner. But this was the highest testing in link test creative asset we've ever created in appliances. So we were like, off to a really strong start. There was a green light. There was a go. It was an awareness. It was an upper funnel campaign. So we established and agreed on all of the KPIs that we were going to be measuring, especially with our finance partners who funded the campaign. And as we went, we reported back on how things were going, and we were over delivering on all those KPIs. Then we get to the end of the campaign, and leadership said, okay, what'd you drive for sales? And in my head, I said, this was an awareness campaign. And I feel the marketers in the audience. I feel you guys, because it is the challenge that we know we're going to be faced in every single campaign. You can't measure fast enough. You can't measure the funnel full enough. Can we say that? So we said, okay, what other things can we learn? How can we look at this in different ways? Here's where the data comes in. We do have amazing abilities to know who has seen this campaign. So the first thing that we looked at was, did you come to Samsung.com? If you were even a cold audience, what's wild about it, let's talk about appliances for a second. You generally average an appliance purchase every 7 to 10 years. This is not something that you're frequently in market for. Our fastest turning products are mobile devices.
Of course.
So that is a starting point of, but when you need it, I want you to be thinking about us. So we first measured the number of people who visited Samsung.com, and we had a high number of first-time users, which was really a good indication.
Interesting.
And then in the course of the campaign, a lot of them came back too. And we had about twice our standard benchmark of people who were first-time revisitors within this time frame. So we said, you know what? We're starting to warm up the funnel. So this is a good sign, because even if they didn't buy in my 6-month period, I have a 7-year purchase cycle.
Exactly.
At least I can tell you that they're thinking about us if they've gone to Samsung.com. And then finally, we still love brand lift. It is a great metric it is reported, but I take it as a strong indication if I'm moving you in the right direction. So the last thing that rounded this out in the trifecta of measurement was our brand lift study, which had an over 5-point lift in a number of key metric areas, which is incredibly strong. Yes, thank you, for a brand lift study. So between the creative pre-testing, the actions that I can track in the test, my standard KPIs, and then finally a brand lift cherry on top, we looked back and said, you know what? I think it's doing what it was designed to do, and we can feel really good about this. And we're continuing through the end of the year. We got more money and we're putting it back in Q4.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd love to talk a little bit about you. So there's this wonderful program called Solve for Tomorrow. If you haven't heard about it, it's a Samsung-funded program that promotes STEM and early education. So every year you pick a few winners, like young people who are really changing the world. I think my favorite team last year was a group of people who built a cancer detecting app. And mind you, these people are teenagers. It's insane. What are some of your favorites, and how did you get involved in this?
So this is a gem of a program. The U.S. created Solve for Tomorrow 15 years ago. We're coming up on our 16th cycle of students now. It's a STEM-based program for middle school and high school students, and it's now rolled out in over 64 countries, which is wild. So it started in the U.S., but all of our regions have seen the value in this, and it's become a global program. So I'm fortunate to have inherited it. It's a funny one because you go internally, a lot of people will tell you they also created it, but that's a sign of how amazing something like this is. What I love about it is, money is important to donate, but we give money and we give a platform. And on that platform, we bring structure to this competition, which is to say, use STEM to solve a problem in your community. And we will give you the platform to amplify that. So as you said, that was an amazing project for last year. Other ones that I've loved, 2 years ago, our winners created an AI robot that is preserving indigenous languages. An all-girls team from Princeton High School did that one.
Wow. By the way, could I think we have a few pictures of the winners, if we can play them. Sorry, keep going.
Oh, great. We've had middle schoolers this past year created a robot that rolls around their their middle school hallways, and there's sound. I'll pause.
Sign up for Samsung Solve for Tomorrow. Sign up for Samsung Solve for Tomorrow today. You won't regret it.
Sign up for Samsung Solve for Tomorrow today. It'll change your life and you'll change the world.
Incredible.
So those last three girls were from last year's winners. They created a piece of headgear to help you keep your hearing aids in if you are an athlete. And the last girl who was featured, it is a problem that she experienced because when you play contact sports, it's hard to sense around you. But they also recognize, okay, even if people have no hearing problems, but you're just running with your buds in, this could be a safety gear because electric cars are a lot quieter. So we could all benefit from these. The other students I was talking about created a motivational robot to help you feel uplifted in the middle of the day. And the reason I love these examples are not just that these kids are so smart, they're really empathetic. They are recognizing problems in their communities and around the world. And they're, like you said, teenagers. So what we're changing with the program this year, we've always invested in get them to this point, and then we've hoped they would go on. We do have one good example of one has been turned into a small business, but across 15 years to have one as a small business, we want to do more. So Samsung is now starting to invest in some of these students and signing up our engineers from Korea to help bring these projects to fruition, because these kids they're going to change the world, and we just want to give them a launching pad.
I was about to say, do you hire them?
I actually wish I knew the data on that one. I think some have come through and interned, but very little have come back to us because I think they're out there literally like becoming the doctors of the futures of tomorrow.
Change the world. I love that. I'd like to ask you a personal question. So you have one phone, right? You don't have two?
I have two.
You have two. Okay. Do you have two Samsung phones?
I have two Samsung.
Okay. What are they?
I have the S25 Ultra and the Fold 7.
That's the Fold?
Yes, I brought the Fold up here because this is a work of art. That a screen, they're the same thickness, and this one folds in half. Like, that's incredible. I
was arguing with a friend over the weekend who just bought the iPhone Air. This phone is actually thinner than the iPhone Air. Mind you, it came out prior to that. So I'm sure you get the question all the time from iPhone owners, why should I switch? Like, so what's your answer to that?
I purchased my first, other party fact, I've only been an Android. So
always.
I've always been an Android. I started with the Galaxy S3, and I purchased that phone because I went into a Verizon store and I said, what's the best camera? Because I personally am a camera person. I have two kids. I take an absurd amount of pictures using, I don't know how much data.
We all do.
Because you're like, that's cute. I should take 47 pictures. So to me, it's the camera. I think that we all have a different reason to come into it, but I would start with, once you see this camera, technically, it's the best. Beyond that, we're innovating in form factors that I was upstairs telling everybody. I took a conference call on this walking down the street on the Upper West Side last week, being able to see the screen and faces at the same time. So we could go on and on in the text and the specs because they have a little bit of an edge. But I think it's when it all comes together and you get your head into the operating system and you see the speed and the form function. And I think the innovation in form factors is the thing that sets us apart. Is
there one person you tried converting that you're proud of?
I had the opportunity to meet Tom Hanks at
No-
an event
no way.
recently.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. And I wasn't expecting, you're a large event. My husband's like, you're going to see him on a stage and not even get close, but had the fortune of talking to him and he said, first question, why should I convert? Why should I switch? And I gave him the same reason. I said, start with the camera. And then once you test the form factor, you'll never go back. So we'll see. Everybody look for Tom Hanks' phone.
That's incredible. Thank you so much. So before we wrap this up, we have a bit of a tradition around here. There's a gentleman called Bradley Cooper. In 2013, he started a tradition at the Oscars of taking a celebrity selfie with the crowd. There were a few people. So if you will be so inclined, we would like to rewrite history today and do this again. So you're going to be Jennifer, there's not Jennifer Garner, Jennifer Lawrence. You're going to be Jennifer Lawrence. I will be the target version of Bradley Cooper.
You mean French Bradley Cooper?
The French Bradley Cooper.
That would
the
sound
French
lovely,
target version of Bradley Cooper, exactly. Which one do you want to use?
I don't know. We got a flip and a fold. Should we try both?
Let's try both. Okay. If you want, just like give us a wave as we're doing this. And sorry, we're going to turn our backs at you.
Here we go. This left side. Oh, waves. We got waves. Thank you.
Should we do the other side?
Yeah. You guys will do the flip version.
Okay. All right, thank you. I would
amazing.
like
Thank
to
you.
thank you for joining us today. I would like to thank our friends at Innovators for putting the panel together, our friends at Paramount for hosting us, and finally, let's give a warm round of applause to Allison Stransky.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.